que c'est beau! Mais on s'en lasse pas, dites donc, il y a de la terre! Ah, moi ça, les petits cailloux là, comme c'est beau!
Hey Alan, you look happy.
Oh, I do.
It's great
Well,
to see.
just behind me there is a Cape Horn. I just crossed actually an adventure boat with some people that they pay to come here to see the Cape Horn, and I'm really happy and proud actually to be here. It was rough condition last night, so yeah, but it's safe now. I'm on the other side. I'm back to the Atlantic, and yeah, I'm really happy. It's beautiful. I can see the Cape Horn. I've been passing this cape 3 times, and the 3 times I've seen it, and that's cool.
You're super lucky then.
Yeah. I mean, it's beautiful, and I was supposed to pass it earlier, but the wind yesterday was just terrible, so I had to slow down a little bit the boat, and I was quite happy to see it at daylight, so that's cool.
So what does it mean to you to be around Cape Horn now?
It means that the Southern Ocean is over now. It doesn't mean that it's going to be easy. The Atlantic could be tricky, and it will be tricky. But really happy to be here now, to be safe, to have a safe boat, and to keep racing, because we spent so many days on the Southern Ocean without pushing the boat, and that was that fun actually. You've got a racing boat and you're sailing 80% of it, 70% of it, because the sea state is too bad, and I just want to push 100% again and be racing mode again. So pretty happy to be back. My boat is in good shape. I'm in good shape. So now it's just racing mode again, and on 128 miles I'll be turning port and going north.
Hello Seawolves, and welcome back to the show. Nice start there with Alan Rora crossing the Cape also, so another sailor out of the Southern Ocean, and like he says, still plenty of tricky sailing to do, but good to see that he's made it through safely. He had a pretty tough crossing actually, lots of wind, like gusts well over 40 knots, so pretty tough sea state. Good to see that he got through unscathed. Okay, before we go on, I hope you have something delicious in your, by now, come on, by now it must be, almost for sure it must be, a official Seawolf mug. Here we go, 3, 2, 1, cheers wolves.
It's too bad that I'm out here by myself, because there's nobody to throw this at. Look at this. Snow, hail, I don't really know, but that's cold. It's snowing and it's sticking.
Now that is something a lot cooler to see on the horizon than an iceberg. Hey, it's Louis Duke. This is the first smoker I've seen since the South Atlantic when I saw Kujiro.
Now I've been chasing him down all day. He started off when I saw him on the AIS, 16 miles ahead of me. Now he's right next to me. So, Louis, pour Conrad, tu me reçois? Haven't yet spoken to him. I was hoping that we'd get close enough to have a decent connection. We'll see if he picks up.
Hey, Conrad, comment tu fais?
Hey, salut, comment ça va?
Putain, je sors de la valette, mais comme je suis en mode compas, je suis à moitié arrêté. Ah, c'est le bordel.
Ouais, c'est cool. Bah, je suis ravi d'être à nouveau dans un groupe de poursuivants. J'ai passé beaucoup de temps tout seul, mais vraiment tout seul. Et du coup, je suis bien content d'être parmi vous à nouveau. Toi plus l'autre groupe, vous étiez en train de faire un course de dingue jusqu'ici, donc je suis ravi d'en faire partie maintenant.
Eh ben c'est cool, hein, bienvenue avec nous, et puis de toute façon on va être nombreux à jouer jusqu'au Sables-d'Olonne maintenant. Hein.
Well, there we go. There's Louis. On his boat. Just had a chat with him,
And he confirmed to me that all of his spinnakers and jennikers are destroyed, so he's sailing with his code 0 at the moment, which I guess that explains why I was able to catch him today. It's still super squally and unstable out here, and so I'm still sailing finally with the full main. You can see the full MS Emlyn logo up there, which is cool, but still with the small Jennica and the J3. That just means that I can manage the squalls a little bit better, because at the moment we've got 20 knots of wind, but sometimes it comes through with 25, 27, 28, 30, 32, and that gets a little spicy, and I didn't want to try the masthead sail for the moment. So it's cool. It feels just look at that. It feels just so cool to see another boat. I haven't seen one since the South Atlantic, when Kojiro and Benjamin Ferret were sailing really close to me. And then, as you know, I got chucked out the back when I had a problem with the electronics, and then took that option up by New Zealand. So I haven't been having these sort of encounters in the middle of the ocean like everybody else. So this is unique and special and cool, and it means that it's proof that I'm catching up and I'm getting back into the fleet. So with 3 days sailing before the end of the Pacific, then this is exciting. It's going to be a South Atlantic and a North Atlantic to get home back to the Sables-d'Olonne. It's going to be tight. Nobody's going to give any quarter. It's going to be a crazy fight all the way to the finish. So I'm looking forward to that. But in the meantime,
it's just cool to see another boat out here.
and as proof that there's never a dull moment out here, this is my latest repair job. Looks like a stump, but it's actually the end of the jockey pole, the spinnaker sheet jockey pole, and the carbon split when I did a bad jibe, and ended up with the boat completely on its side and dragging this pole through the water. And unsurprisingly, it didn't like that. So the carbon split open, and this titanium connecting point broke out, made us bid for freedom. So I didn't just tape it together. There's new layers of carbon fiber in there, and epoxy glue. Let it kick a little bit there, but it's so cold that it's going to take a while for the glue to get solid. So I'll give it a couple of hours, and then I'll come over here with the kettle and steam it, and actually get the internal temperature of the glue high enough to allow it to cure properly. So you need to be a little bit creative out here, but it'll do the job. And then tonight or early tomorrow morning, we're going to jibe over, and this can do its job again. So need to stay on top of the job list.
Nice to see Conrad having fun there with the snow on board. Actually, it's also snowing here in Holland today. Like good news. I mentioned that I got the Avada 2 drone for Christmas earlier, and I had quite a few wolves emailing me like what I think about it and everything. So I'm making actually a little review of it, because I'm going to be using it for offshore drone flying. So I guess there's more sailors out there who are curious if maybe it's a good drone for that. And today I did kind of my first like real test flight. Let's say I had a bit more space, and it was much lower wind today. Now I'm very experienced with other drones, but I never flown FPV before, so check out the review that's coming soon to see more about that. But I have to say, first flight was quite nice. Like it was quite easy to kind of get into it, and I couldn't pull off like all the maneuvers exactly as fluently as I wanted, but I got to like maybe 85% or something, so pretty good there. But more in the extended review later. So let's get to the race. Actually, not much news as far as damages or anything like that. Pretty much people passing the Cape. A lot of still bad variable weather, like what you saw with Conrad in the fleet. So I think it's most interesting to just hop right into the screen here and look at the leaders. Because Charlie Dalin still in first place. He's eked out about a 128-mile lead now. And boy, oh boy, it looks like something quite interesting could happen. If we fly over to the Initiative's Cure tracker here, you can kind of see the same thing but on the flat map. And if we look at the routages, we see something quite interesting. So almost no doldrums at all, right? So that is kind of interesting. But as we see, so far it's been running out. Now Charlie is actually now about 2 knots faster, so the wind has changed a little bit the direction. And now, you know, he is a little bit favored. Also, Charlie is running first into the slightly bit lighter winds here than Yoan. So he's going to be catching up now a little bit, but it looks like they're actually going to be making their way through like pretty good, both of them. Like no real trouble expected with the doldrums. And then something very interesting. So again, this is still a few days away prediction, but look, we start to see here the Azores High, and you all remember on the way over, you know, on the initial crossing of the Azores High. We had a lot of problems with it basically spread out all across the Atlantic and stopping the entire fleet for quite a few days, like everybody getting stuck somewhere or another, fighting through. So a big compression in the fleet. And look at this, right? It's once again completely crossed the Atlantic Ocean, but then watch what happens as Charlie gets closer there. Ta-ta-da, 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 boom! And exactly as the 2 leaders are hitting the Azores High, it's as if Lady Fortune herself says, you know what? Come on through, boys, come on through. So, you know, this is still a few days away, so it's not exactly sure that this will happen. But actually, if we look at the extreme of the prediction now, we do see that there might be actually once again, because that'll be the 3rd time, a perfect window for the 2 leaders to kind of breeze through with no weather problems at all. So I guess they're really getting, maybe exceptionally could get lucky with this. And that also means that if they are able to kind of breeze through the Azores High here, that'll be, yeah, that'll maybe shave another day and a half off of the ultimate full course record, maybe. So right now the estimate is about 10 days, but if this happens, it might be 9, maybe 8.5. We'll see. So yeah, pretty exciting news for the leaders there in that sense. So Sebastian Simon, pretty similar story. So if we look at his route, it is a bit a different course. He's staying much closer to the coast. But it seems that doldrums for him also not a super problem. And as far as the Azores High, we don't know yet. Like, it looks good. And I honestly don't think he'll be this much to the west when he gets there. I think he'll go a bit more straight up here. But yeah, no way of telling yet if the weather is going to be just as favorable for him as it is to the 2 leaders. It kind of looks like that if I look at other predictions, but you know, let's not jump ahead. But it looks interesting anyways. Then if we go a little bit lower towards the group of the foilers there, interesting that Jeremy now actually pushed a little bit to the fore. So he's kind of, you know, technically Thomas Rouillant is in first place in this particular group. But if you look at their position, and Thomas is kind of out of the wind while Chiral is right in the wind. So I think actually by the time the show goes live, we might see Chiral actually in place 4. Which will be great for Jeremy because he's been hunting for a top 5 place. He really was one of the all-time favorites for this race also. Brand new boat again and just a fantastic sailor. And yeah, I almost felt a little bit bad of him sort of not having the weather luck, let's say a little bit, that Charlie and the rest in front had. And yeah, maybe this is the point where his luck will ultimately change and he'll at least be able to kind of grab the front seat in this particular group. I personally think that would be really cool. And if that sort of evolves into a big duel or a battle between Thomas and Jeremy, I think, you know, it's all the better for all of us to see them kind of duke it out towards the end of the race. So I think that could be plenty exciting. Boris also picking up a little bit more speed. I think he's in a good position now, good 24-hour averages, so he should also maybe get into place 8 again, maybe even 7 if he gets a little bit lucky with both Paul Malat and Thomas Rouillant getting a little bit stuck still, but you know, we have to wait and see. Clarice Kramer and Benjamin Dutroux making it through well. Samantha Davis also. So we are seeing that whole prediction of, you know, several of the skippers kind of getting stuck in the corner there. It seems that that's not quite, that Samantha at least is true. I think for Jean, if we switch to his prediction, that still is a little bit, yeah, that's still what they're predicting there. So I don't know what he's going to do on that front. It does seem that he took the eastern route past the Falklands now, so that surprised me a little bit. I would have thought that he probably would have gone on the inside, but you know, there you go. And we see behind there Ellen Rora, so charging up. I don't think actually he's going to be this powerfully catching up with Jean, but he is sailing along very nicely, and we see that actually the distance between them sort of since the Southern Ocean for both of them has stayed pretty much the same. So they're both just sailing excellently, like just excellent races. Then back into the Southern Ocean, we see Giancarlo Pedot, Isabel Joschke, now also in strong winds, up to 45 knots again, crossing of Cape Horn, and they're a little bit further out. As you can see, the weather close to the Cape is so some very strong sea states here, so they're going a bit more to the south. I doubt that they will actually be seeing the Cape as they pass, but within 24 hours they should be past there. And then we see the entire Daggerboard group here all together. Benjamin Ferrer very nicely hanging on to his position there, just sailing excellently, and as you can see, very much to the south, keeping that shortest route principle going. Then of course our group favorite here, Conrad, still in 28th position. He's a bit battling it out with Louis Duke, as he mentioned in his video also, that he could actually see him. And you know, you saw all the weather videos yesterday, like they're all in the snow and hail, and they just are having some pretty crazy and cold weather in the south there. But I mean, they're enjoying a really nice fast squeeze. And look at this, I mean, finally, like most of the fleet is now in sort of range, you know, 3-4 days more that they're all going to be passing the Cape. And then all of a sudden, look at how big this gap has now gotten with the light wind for Toot Good, and now Anton Kornek and Jean Jeju also in light wind. So my gosh, this gap is just massive. Ollie, unfortunately, still in the light winds. Same goes for Anton Kornek and Jean Jeju. We see that we have here Emmanuel Cosin and Fabrice Amadeo, both in a little bit more wind now, but the speeds are still like 9 knots, 9.3 knots. That's almost as fast as my boat can go, so it's not great for them. And all in the back, he has caught up again a little bit, but not far, and you can see that there's a bit of a high pressure ridge between him now. So if we run the routages, I wonder how, if he actually, yeah, he's kind of escaping the top of it, but it does look like he's going to be quite hindered by that. Going to be at least a day before they get some good winds there again also, and like, yeah, they keep kind of running into some pretty bad stuff. Plus you can see that we have one massive low pressure here developing. That's going to be diving down, so probably maybe a week or so from now they're probably going to get some very strong weather, as that system is going to sort of be moving like that, and they're probably going to be sort of around here somewhere once that hits there. So that could potentially be one of those 65 knots and up big storms again. So well, we'll see how that develops when we get there, but you know, plenty of weather still to go. And okay, that's I guess it for the show today. Thank you all very much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and for the drone fans, right behind here, I added some good moments from the first flight from the Avata 2. But like I said, the actual review with like all the in-depth and all the different things that I was trying later. Ciao, ciao. Have a nice day, wolves. Bye, bye.